Hello, and welcome to a Force Alliance Forever Laddercast. We have ThomasHiatt versus Blodir on Corporation Small. Corporation Small, a 10 by 10 map, hasn't been seen in the ladder pool, at least not recently. As far as I can remember, at least. Now, it's a 10 by 10 map, but there's quite a lot of mass on it. We can see quite a few mexes on both sides of the map, and the map is split into north and south by this middle equatorial line. Looks like both players won't have too much trouble securing their sides as long as they're quick on their feet and diligent with their engineers. Now, the challenge is going to be defending against the opponent's incursions here and there, so both players are going to have to scout and make radar. Well, that goes without saying. Alright, so Blodir on the top side with red Cybran, ThomasHiatt on the bottom side with blue Aeon. ThomasHiatt going back to his Aeon roots after playing as UEF for just a short while. He had decided that Aeon just wasn't strong enough in this balance patch. But, and of course thinking that UEF was probably the strongest faction, he chose UEF for a few games recently. But here he is. He just can't get enough of Aeon. And I don't know if you have noticed, but ThomasHiatt does have Princess Ryza as his avatar. Or Princess Riza. I can't remember the pronunciation, I'm sorry. But at any rate, ThomasHiatt with second air here. Blodir with third air. So Blodir wants to get some land control early on in the game. And Thomas wants to prevent bombers. He's building interceptors, or at least he wants to get air control early on. An early scout as well to take a look at Blodir's movements. He's actually sent 2 scouts. Again, with only one land factory, with the air factory first, ThomasHiatt not going to have as many NGs or tanks out. Early on, we can see that Blodir has spread out a little bit more rapidly around his side of the map. He's made it to his mexes a little quicker. And Thomas will have the air advantage early on, of course. But he should be aware that Mantis might be coming. Mantis might be on their way to ruin Thomas's day. Thomas and Blodir doing some reclaim, but looks like ThomasHiatt has quite a bit more reclaim. Both players with similar amounts of... Oh, Thomas has quite a lot of mass income actually from reclaim, but similar amounts of mass collected total for both players. Alright, Blodir already has made it to his far expansion on the left side. Thomas not even close. Looks like he intends to take his ACU over to the right. But we can see here that this distance is quite substantial. Now his ACU is starting to move. But Blodir already working on his second mex on the top left side. Oh boy. Oh boy, Blodir with quite a few more mexes than Thomas. Already 5 minutes into the game. Now Thomas is making a small push towards the upper left corner. And Blodir does not have that many mantis there. It does have engineers, but not many mantis. Is Blodir going to start a point defense? No point defense started yet. Thomas should continue with his Aurora, and he might have an opening. Blodir on the way to defend. Kind of looks like Thomas might not make it in time to do any damage actually, and he's not gonna commit to any push. He's lingering here with his Aurora. I think that might have been a small opportunity missed. Thomas now finished with his corner mexes on the right side. Perhaps he wasn't so behind after all. Total mass collected actually favoring Thomas. And I'm probably gonna I would thank that reclaim for that. He has quite a lot more reclaim than Blodir. Okay. So Blodir doing a really good job of defending against these Aurora. He's actually taken out quite a few Aurora here. Look at that. Blodir easily overtaking the left flank of Thomas. And these Aurora are in trouble. They're being taken down one by one. They're not in proper formation right now. Is Blodir going to just overrun Thomas on the left side? Look at all these mantis streaming in. Blodir making quite a few land factories. Thomas opting for all these air factories and upgrading his mexes. This might be too early of a time to start upgrading mexes, I think. Not sure why Thomas was in such a rush to upgrade his mexes, but maybe it will pay off. Thomas still building land factories. Let's take a look at how many land factories Blodir has. 20 land factories. 8 minutes in. My goodness, 20. Thomas has 11 total, and 3 of them are idle. And we can see here where it can get a little dangerous for Thomas. 20 land factories versus 8. That's a big, big difference. And what does that mean? That means Blodir is going to have a large army, 57 mantis at the moment. Thomas with 42 Aurora. That's not a huge difference. So let's see where Blodir has the advantage. 66 engineers, and they're all idle. 66 idle engineers, incredible. Thomas, how many engineers does he have? He has 61 total compared to Blodir's 81. So we can see Blodir has a lot more Tequin land units total, a lot more engineers, and a few more mantis. Not to mention Blodir has Artie. And now the pressure is on. Let's take a look at the reclaim. Yeah, this is what all of those NGs have accomplished for Blodir. With all those factories, he's been able to out-reclaim Thomas. 5,000 more mass reclaimed than Thomas, and now 4,000 more mass produced total. Blodir with Tech 2 land already. And likely going to start putting some Rhino pressure on Thomas. Thomas just working on his Tech 2 land factory now, starting his Tech 2 P-Gen. He does not have the tech to repel Rhinos and Medusa. He doesn't have enough units right now to defend against just Mantis. Look at that. Thomas has been... Well, he started to eco early on, but then he appears to have stopped ecoing. He simply does not have the mass income right now. What happened? It has to have been the reclaim. That's the explanation. Blodir, this entire middle has been reclaimed, all of it. Now that's a lot of reclaim. Look at this. This is what Blodir reclaimed. All these rocks over here on this right side. And all the rocks in the middle as well. And that explains how he has 9,000 more reclaimed than ThomasHiatt. Look at this mass income differential. And now Blodir out-ecoing Thomas with mexes as well. This is a simple matter of better eco, better mass collection more quickly. He built more factories, he built more engineers, and he reclaimed more mass. And now he can upgrade more mexes. And that just means that he can overrun Thomas's base. Starved of resources is Thomas. There's no tactics here, ladies and gentlemen. No tactics at all. Simple out-ecoing. Blodir was quick. Blodir was faster with his factories. Blodir was faster with spreading his engineers out early in the game, excuse me. That just means he'll have more units, and when you have more units on a map like this, a lot more units, then you can cross over the equator and you can get all the middle reclaim. And that's exactly what happened here. The rich got richer here on this map. Here comes Blodir on the left side, completely crushing Thomas's left flank. Thomas's factories are but a mark in the ground. Now loyalists out for Blodir. He doesn't even need loyalists right now. Blodir has convincingly taken the victory here. Now Blodir descending on all lanes. All lanes Blodir has taken. Blodir now with 133 mass per tick. Thomas with less than half of that. 20,000 mass down is Thomas. And it's gonna keep on growing, that gap. Thomas desperately defending with a gun upgraded ACU, 36 kills, 1,431 mass in vet. Thomas has a lot of reclaim here. Is he going to attempt to get all of this reclaim and hold up the fort? Well, yes he is. He has no choice. ThomasHiatt with Harbingers out, hoping that Blodir will make a blunder and donate him mass, perhaps. Is Thomas planning anything sneaky? Perhaps a drop behind Blodir's base? He still has hope if he can take out Blodir's power or groups of Tech 2 mexes. Something crippling. A maneuver that might cripple Blodir. That's all Thomas can hope for right now, and Blodir actually retreating. What looked like a complete steamroll has transformed into a slow burn. Tapering into the Tech 3 stage here. Blodir just has so many units. What's Blodir going to plan next? What is going to be Blodir's next move? ThomasHiatt appears to have stabilized the situation. Blodir, perhaps a little bit surprised by Thomas's valiant defense. Or perhaps not. Perhaps Blodir is just relaxing. We don't know, but either way, the fact remains that this defense is valiant indeed. Thomas, ACU, never a moment's rest as he supports the final defense of Thomas's abode. And Thomas actually tapping out of this game. Well played by Blodir. Blazingly fast was Blodir on this map. So if you're playing on Corporation, be the quickest to your mexes, be the quickest to the middle, and make lots and lots of units. Blodir made 20 factories. 20 factories early on. Thomas built only 8 or so, and therein lied the problem. Alright, thanks for watching. Well played, and we'll see you in the next cast.